Hello everyone, welcome back to the third hour of Halcyon City Defenders. So, drama, lots of sweet drama, as the group of superheroes are talking about what's right and what's wrong in terms of submitting yourself to the law for crimes that you've been accused of. The thing before we ended came to a head-to-head between Vigil and Pala, your mother, who basically like cussed you out for abandoning your friend and quitting, and then left in yeah, like just like left in a huff. Now as we come back in on this scene, what's up? What's happening? Where do you guys go from here? It is hella late. You're in Sparrow Sanctuary, which is this perpetual sundown, not really giving you a good sense of time passing. But yeah, it was late when you entered. Now what?
Well, for Sparrow's part, I think she sits in silence. So, whoever wants to take the ball, please do.
So let's not actually move away from Sparrow immediately, just because you're saying she's sitting in silence. That's like perfect. Like poke me GM territory. So how is all this negativity? Like, how do you jive with this?
I was getting ready to ask that too.
As you might remember, as I said just before we ended, the spot where the primary participants in this discussion, that would be Vigil, Pala, and Diamond, where they are or have been, are noticeably darker and look much more. You know, before it was a beautiful summer's eve, and it still is, but where they stood, the grass more looks like it's had too much sun. It's kind of wilted, and I wouldn't say she looks queasy, but she doesn't look like she's feeling too well.
Ah, yeah. There's a bad sense in there, some bad juju. You might like
Yeah,
you
perhaps it might have been a bad idea to bring them here.
yeah, definitely. Like the negativity being slung around here is not doing wonders for you. You could swear that like at the corner of your ears you hear wings flutter in the trees.
Ignore.
I think at this point, Starlight just looks over at her a little worried because she does know the secret. She just doesn't know that this place existed, but she doesn't notice the color of the grass and how she's reacting to it.
All right. Diamond looks towards Vigil and says, "All right. I don't agree with your decision, but I respect that it's your right to make it. Shall we go?"
Brain, you're muted.
You have muted your brain. Oh no!
Yeah, he's like looking at everybody else like, well, after he said that to, well, whatever, to his mother, like after she left, it's like well, I suppose it's only fitting that I disappoint everybody in one fair sweep. No point of middling.
Please. I'm not disappointed, Vigil. You've laid out your whole point. I'm not disappointed. I don't understand you. I think what you're doing is by far the worst option. That's not disappointment. That's a lack of comprehension. And that's a different thing. You're free to do as you want, obviously. I had hoped that the rest of us might be able to get through to you. Clearly, we're not. But no, I can't speak for the others. I, for one, am not disappointed, but I don't really think it would matter one way or the other if I was. I just think we should go.
Yeah, it's like as he at the end like looks like he nods to Diamond, but he looks and says like, "Ah, at least well, yeah, I suppose we should. Well, at least I know the team is in good hands right now. I'm not afraid. I'm not worried for. I'm not worried for you guys at least." And he looks at Nightshade and like, and then he just extends his hands or something, just like just to go to.
Yeah, I think
go to
Nightshade
exit.
shakes his hand. Yeah.
I think before Vigil is allowed to exit, because basically he cannot actually exit on the Sparrow.
Oh yeah, he's probably like turning around like, well, actually, how do I?
And I think Sparrow goes right up to him, and hugs him. She doesn't say anything, and then he fades away.
Yep.
And she extends her hand to Diamond.
Yeah. Well, she takes the hand.
You'll make sure you're seen turning him in, and we'll
Yes.
check a mark.
I promise I'll make sure I'm seen. I'll walk him straight up to the damn door if I have to.
And with a very, very tired look, Sparrow lets Diamond leave as well.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
So what's next?
Who do
Well,
you want to start with?
yeah, that's exactly it.
All right. So I guess we just the next thing we see is an establishing shot of the downtown Helsinki City Police Department. And then what?
And he's still. You never got out of the handcuffs, correct?
No,
No,
they were removed.
Pella removed them.
Oh, they were removed. All right, fair
Yeah.
enough. In that case,
Zip ties.
yeah, no, not even. But Diamond just. She puts her hand on his shoulder and grabs a hold of his of the cloth of whatever he's wearing, and she does look slightly apologetic. I hope you understand why. And then she pushes him. She doesn't want to be brutal about it or anything. That's not the point here. But there's CCTV around. She wants to make sure that it's seen. And then she walks. Yeah.
He totally plays along.
Yeah, exactly. So she walks.
keeping the same I suppose the same look like he was when he was first taken out of the hospital. Like,
yeah.
he basically looks the same.
So she walks up to the door, and are there any cops there?
Yeah, definitely.
Visible? Yeah, I would imagine. She says, somebody please bring a pair of handcuffs for this guy. He's a fugitive.
So yeah, someone like turns and like looks at you, and there's a moment where they're like squinting and like scanning their brain box and being like, where have I? And then they realize like who it is. Like they know, oh shit, I know you, right? My colleagues were on TV dealing with you, and their hand goes to their sidearms, and they move towards you and really like, all right, hands on the back of your head.
By all means, shoot if you want. She says she just looks tired. Please, if you want to shoot, shoot.
You. I know you.
I'm sure you do.
you're wanted for questioning about the. You're wanted for questioning in relation to the museum.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to
Sure
come
I
into.
am. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Just
Look.
take this guy and I'll leave. Nice and quiet, like I won't make a fuss. I'll just walk away.
Look, miss. He says it like you can tell from like his tone of voice that he knows what's up, right? Like that he's just a grunt worker, like a police officer.
Yeah.
He's not equipped to handle this situation, but you can see him like bravely mustering the courage to try it anyway. Where he's like, "Look, miss."
Yeah, I know what you're about to say, and here's what I'm gonna do. I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want you to be hurt. I'm, for one, not going to hurt you because that's not who I am. I'm not one of the bad guys, believe it or not. Whether you believe it doesn't really matter. I'm not. So, you put some handcuffs on him, and then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to slowly walk away, and I'm going to walk away in that direction over there where you can see there aren't anyone else. It'll be towards that back alley. There are no people there. You pull your gun and you empty the clip into me, and I'll keep walking, and you will have done everything you can to stop me.
So as this is happening, imagine like a couple of his colleagues like circling closer, start putting their hands on Vigil, like putting him in cuffs, and then like doing the whole like surrounding diamond tango of approaching you with like their sidearms half out of their holsters.
Yeah. And at this point she does like she says. She turns around, she puts her hands in her pockets, and she walks away.
Ma'am, get on the ground.
Bye-bye.
Ma'am, stand down. I am at this point I must inform you, you are under arrest. They start that thing. You can see like a bunch of cops around you like start pulling their weapons out.
She looks over her shoulder and says, if the US Army with all their hardware can't hold me, do you really think your Glock 17 can?
Alright, so provoke him. This is definitely a provocation.
Okay, let's see.
Pee on his shoe.
Good grief.
Alright, there we are. So,
I'm good with the provocations today.
Yeah, just like roll through.
You rolled full hits on everything.
Yes.
You can see him like as
no,
he's
I
doing
rolled
this.
POW on one.
you can see him like what he's doing, right? He's like as you look over your shoulder at him, being like, "This is how it's gonna go," and he's reaching for the little fucking like a walkie-talkie. He's got like strapped to his chest, and as his hand is like about to like push the button, he's like, "No," and you see him resign and like basically just like his hand lowers. Everyone else around him like, follows his example. They like lower their guns and focus their attention on Vigil.
She gives them. She looks a little sad, actually. Not triumphant, nothing of the sort. She looks sad, and she just gives him a polite nod, and then she walks down into. She takes out of her pocket. She takes her cigarette. She lights one up, and she walks down into the alleyway and disappears. The nearest manhole cover, and she's gone.
Cool. So, Vigil, your MO here is to bravely and defiantly stand trial for what you've done.
Yep, or at least get to. What ideally what you would like is to have a conversation with the deputy mayor alone beforehand, but if he cannot get that, and he does not want it to be like hostile from his side, like he just finds her somewhere while being just busted out. He wants to have there either while he is arrested or in like an interrogation room. Whatever.
No, I get you. Let's see, what do I do here? I feel like yes, that's definitely. That has to be what happens then. So your objective statement here is, as I said, like you have to bravely stand responsible for your actions, and so I know exactly how to challenge you on this one. Okay, so you are you're brought in. They process you. They do like what's this, like, state your name and so on. Like give us your give us your thumbprints, and your thumbprints are uploaded, and then your fingerprints are like uploaded. They take your mugshot, and then immediately, like as this is happening, we see you like being pulled through the processing, and like a couple of cops like have their hands on your shoulder, like moving you through down to holding. And the picture like is shows us the behind the scenes view of the desk clerk typing all this stuff in, and as he's turning and like looking after you, because they're processing a map of the vigil, and this is a rare occurrence. So he's like turning to look. We see the screen. We see the information that's been recorded about you being actively deleted. Like there's like we see just like on the screen just like the whole thing just like fucking being just erased as it's being written in. And we have a picture of you being put in a holding cell, which I emphatically want to be a picture of you sitting like on a bench on your own, and then like a bunch of criminals in the corners squeezing away from you, just trying to not be near you.
Yep.
Because these aren't like hardened crims, right? These are like fucking like people who hold up kiosks and rob liquor stores and double park and are drunk and disorderly. And they're not about. They don't want any of what you are. And you have a like, of course, 2 phone calls. Do you do anything in particular as you're being put in holding? Or is there something you would like to draw attention to about Vigil before the next event unfolds?
No, like just that he's basically cooperating, and
Yeah.
I say instead of the just being like that he wants a phone call or something, and it's like he would probably ask to be like to pass a message to Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I don't know. He would probably ask one of the like the person that was inputting his data, I suppose, or like taking like his possessions or whatever. That can he, instead of his phone call, just have a message passed to the deputy mayor that clearly the accused him to be if you could request the visit, I suppose, from deputy mayor.
Yeah, I think no, right? Like, as you asked, like, could you just pass a note to the person who's charging me? They like respond to you by slamming a phone book down in front of you and leaving. He
probably just looks at the phone book. It's like and be like, it's not worth it. Probably, I will not reach her by phone anyway.
I was about to say, like, this is probably some kind of alien tome to you, right? This is the Necronomicon. What is this even? You've never seen this book before.
He just sighs and goes into that cell.
All right. So as I said, we find you in holding, and you sit in holding for what feels like it. I don't know what your sense of passage of time is, but you have the sensation that it should feel way longer before a police officer comes up to the door. Go on. What you about to say?
No, I was to say he's probably so like kind of deep in thought that he is like recounting the events in his head and just probably thinking about his past and stuff like that, and that he just does not notice the passage of time really.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I have to make this. This is the move. So, as you sit there, bravely, defiantly awaiting your trial, a police officer comes up to the door, and like knocks on it to get your attention, and he opens it and he says, "All right, you can go."
You know, I think I know what will happen next. But like, he was like looks surprised. He's intending on cooperating, so he gets up and he looks like when he goes out, like when he's next to the policeman, and it's like he's like who's he's trying to formulate a question, but he doesn't exactly know what to say, so he just looks like with the question on his face, just at the policeman, just like
he understands the implicit question. He just shrugs, is like, beats me.
He like, fair enough, and he walks slowly, just keep making sure that he is not not seeming like running or anything. He's just slowly
walking
going
out. And everyone is looking right as you're walking out of there, looking all superhero-y and weird. Yeah, you just like enter out. No one is accosting you, and then you're back out on the streets outside, and there is a suspicious absence of reporters. Instead, all you find outside, like the traffic you would expect there to be, right? Like a couple of police cars coming and going. And then a trio of black high-end expensive cars, parked in a row up to the steps, and upon like descending from the steps, there is the window, the mirrored glass of one of the windows like goes down, and you look upon the ruggedly handsome face of Mr. Deacon Graves.
Son of a bitch.
Who like turns his head in that annoying ass way that only a person who was prepared to not look directly at you can do, right? With like, oh, I hadn't noticed you, as I'm deliberately lowering my window, looking in a totally different direction. Just look at you, he's like, there we go. The man of the hour.
Man with the power.
Would you like a
Sweet
lift?
to be sour. Sorry.
Mr. Graves, I don't believe that we are. Well, first of all, I suppose, thank you, and second of all, why?
I happen to be always in need of and in great appreciation of people who know how to follow the rules that are laid in front of them. And people who understand that with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, he went there.
If you would give me the opportunity, I would just simply love to give you the opportunity of a lifetime. And, I could give you a ride to wherever you're going.
Well, I think I can certainly hear you out. I do not promise my response, but I can certainly hear you out.
Oh please, what kind of businessman would I be if I expected you would just play along with no blowback? No. I should not expect you to do anything for me that is not in your express interest of doing. I don't believe in forcing people to do what I want.
Excuse me, but I believe I can smell the bovine feces all the way over here.
All right. So basically, as he's saying this, a person emerges from one of the other cars, goes over to his car, opens the door for you, and just like stands and waits expectantly. And yeah, Graves is looking at you like, there's a seat.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, he gets in.
Sweet. So you go in, the door falls shut behind you, and the cars pull out, riding into downtown. As you find yourself sitting inside a very luxurious, if sparsely decorated vehicle. It's this kind of like austere rich. And as the cars pull out, Mr. Graves is looking at you and like asking, so, where to?
He would give like vaguely the entrance, the entrance to the park that you have to go through to get to his like sanctuary.
Ah, sweet. So like in that direction, like put me off at whatever square, and I can walk from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So he just he relays it to the driver, who takes everyone in that direction, and then he turns to you and he crosses his legs and folds his hands in front of him, like doing the whole asshole posture, as he removes a perfect lock of hair from his ruggedly handsome face, and says,
I really hate this guy.
yeah, adjusts his cufflinks, and says, what you did tonight is very impressive.
Is it? No?
I believe I have you and your friends to thank for being alive still, and I happen to be very appreciative to those who do me good service. You don't get far in my business if you don't know how to properly reward people for a job well done. But I cannot help but wonder why one with power such as yours would just go with the police. Humor me. I do believe I know the answer, but if I don't hear it straight from you, I mean, it's just gonna rattle around in my brain all night and I won't get any sleep, so please.
Because he looks at him. Well, Mr. Graves, we all have a responsibility to something. For every action, there is a reaction. Not all good is not always rewarded with good. Bad is not always rewarded with bad.
How true that is. How very true. You are who I thought you were. Yes, I see it now. You are a man responsible beyond your age. That's good. It shows that you have what it takes to stand in defiant endurance for your vision for the future. That is a good thing. That is a quality that I much appreciate. I happen to be in a unique position, as I'm sure you know. It's not often, I imagine, that you find people in need of talent such as yours to even make it through a night at a simple charitable event.
Yes. Continue.
How would you like to join the ranks of the esteemed superheroes who have tossed away the raiments of vigilantism, who no longer work above the law, thinking themselves greater than the sum of those not blessed with their unique gifts, and instead join a more proper force, a group of people who commit to use their talents in a more appropriate and socially and societally acceptable way. There are people out there with talents like yours who do very good work in the corporate sector, who do good work working for the city, without taking the law into their own hands. A person of a level of integrity such as yours would be very welcome in my business.
I'm sure it would, Mr. Graves, but you forget about one thing. I did what I did because I thought it was right, but I was also ready to take the consequences for it. That doesn't mean that I wouldn't do it again. I respect the law, but when I need to break it, save life, defend people, I will accept the consequence of it.
A man has to do
But
what
I
he
will
must.
not. I am not a law enforcer.
If
You
you
have
were
to
a s-
understand that.
If you were a simple law enforcer, there are many other people whom I could go to if I was in need of such people. No, what I need is what I am asking if you can provide. Is a person who has the strength to carry his own, who has the will and the empathy to want to work towards greater things, not just for the few, but for all, who wants to accomplish visionary goals for all of humankind, and not just for whomsoever should happen to cross his path, and who would do so in the right way, in a properly monitored and perfectly legal way, instead of, doing what so many others have done and endangered others because they thought they knew better. If that is the kind of person you are, then, well, I have to say, you could do a lot worse than come work for me.
And as you can see, this is where we have a problem here. Because for all I did, for all I chosen to do, I was never working for anybody. I am,
And if
with
I
all
may,
with all due respect,
Mhm.
I am of belief that if and he like scoffs at the name because he never likes to use it, a superhero or a hero is to do his work, he needs to take the risks. He needs to realize that can be repercussions and consequences. But risk has to be taken, and he has to follow his own lead. With all the respect, I am not interested in becoming an employee. I am sworn to the other organization and to a different team.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
I
must ask.
appreciate your offer, sir. It's flattering, really. But it's...
I should think so. It's not often I give this kind of offer.
But I will have to refuse.
That's disappointing.
Not the first person I disappointed today.
No, I suppose I'm not. I suppose that's what I find so strange about this. If you must strike your own path, then surely you will have noticed where it has led you so far. Tell me, is that where your path takes you? Into conflict with the law, endangering people, doing what you think in the spur of the moment is right, but instead you're just hurting people, making others hate you, unfairly encouraging others' wrath, endangering others. And all of it for the completely wrong reasons.
Oh, believe me, my reasons. I know my reasons. They are quite right. And...
Have you ever heard the saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions?
Huh.
When do you...
It's a really nice road, then.
When is it too much, I wonder? If a hero kicks down the door to a burning building to save the people on the top floor and collapses the building on the 7 survivors in the ground floor, is he permitted this action for his good intentions? Is the fact that he did not have the proper support and backup enough to clear him of all charge? Should he not stand accountable when he could in fact have done it in another way and a better way? I encourage you to think on this. For now, I think we are at the location you asked. Please, my boy.
Also, yeah.
Do give my words some thoughts. I can offer you a much better and much safer alternative to all of this and for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Well...
And at that moment, one of his henchmen opens the door for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Graves, I'm sure we will see each other again.
Oh,
for good or ill. For good or ill.
Oh, I have no doubt of that.
Well, stay safe. Stay safe. You seem to be attracting a lot of shadowy attention, and he just gets out.
He smiles after you. He's like, "Thank you, my boy. Yes, we who would do great work sometimes risk coming under fire." And yeah, the the sunglasses at night wearing guy in a suit closes the door and walks off, and sits into steps back into the car in front, and the motorcade takes off, and leave you there. Cut sideways.
Just before Finn, instead of going into his thing, he's going to the nearest store to get some alcohol. Just setting up for the future.
Yeah, sure.
Well, he's not 21,
No,
so
exactly.
He's gonna have trouble buying it.
Yeah, I was about to say. So you go.
He's
there
going to the
get some alcohol.
shoddy one. He's going to the shoddy one that sells.
Yeah, you go to the store to buy some alcohol. The guy behind the counter is like, "Can I see some identity?" Yeah. But in if you so desire, sure, there is absolutely no problem in you acquiring a bottle of booze.
Yeah.
Underage drinking is a thing.
Yes.
So yeah. All right. Cut sideways. Let's see. I am super curious about this. So cut sideways to Nightshade. Nightshade. It's 3 a.m. You're not home yet.
Crap.
Where are you going home?
I think at the moment I'm still in Sparrow's Sanctuary.
Okay. So when we find you in
Unless we
Sparrow's
left towards finding Mark and figuring out what his deal was.
Yeah.
Alright, so is that where we find you? Approaching Mark's home?
Well, was he taken home or was he in the hospital?
That's a great
Do you
question.
know?
I guess you can find out by simply calling the hospital.
I don't think they'll let us know if we're not related to him.
Probably not, actually. But I guess then, having arrived at the hospital, you find out that he's been sent home.
Then we shall find his home.
All right. So we join you on the sidewalk, approaching the skyscraper that we described last time. This DNA-looking, like twisty glass and steel building, towering in the middle of the rich and posh downtown high-rise area. So upon your approach, what do we find you doing? Do you just want to like go and ring the doorbell? Are you talking? What's up? And is anyone there besides the two of you?
I don't know, is Starlight here?
That depends on where we're going.
To Mark.
To see Mark.
We're going
Why
to
are we
Mark's
going
home
there?
to see how he's doing. To see how he's doing. Figure out what
With a mother who is currently hating all of us and wants us all dead. Sure, that's a good idea. Let's go home to him.
I'm in. This sounds like a shitty idea.
door.
That was dripping with sarcasm, as in, let's not do that, because that sounds like a complete stupid idea where she called all the police that she can find.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
only
sneaking
if
in.
she notices us.
Yeah, how do you suppose we get in there otherwise?
Exactly. We can't get in unless we sneak, so let's do that. And it's much easier because we won't get the cops thrown at us.
I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not sneaky.
Well,
Actually,
I
I
don't
light
do that.
up and stuff usually explodes.
I'm not as much stealthy as I am radiant.
I'm not so much stealthy as I
Well-
am explodey.
well, you got into that armored car earlier.
And it started quite the ruckus inside the car.
I
There were
assume
police
that
in the car, though.
You popped out of nowhere and it scared the people.
So is this supposed to mean that like Starlight is not following them, or are you just like complaining as you're following them?
She just doesn't get why we're going to him.
Yeah. So I understand that, and it's definitely implied that that's not what, like, you don't get it, right? So you're asking them, why are we doing this? What's important to me is, are you having this conversation as you're walking to the building, or like were you just being like?
Well, she's
when-
not moving an inch before she gets a logical reason as to why to go bother him tonight.
Well, okay. So in that case, what I infer from that is that you're not there then. Like you were asked, do you want to come like see Mark? And then their answer was, your answer was like, why? And like, oh, won't we get spotted? They responded with, no, we'll sneak in. And then, there you are.
The
So-
answer was, hell no.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case,
No,
and-
she's trying to make them not do something completely stupid.
oh, okay. So you want to actually like put an intent forward here into. I don't know why.
She is
I went
actually
Bernie
trying
Wheel
to
there for a
ask
moment.
them why they are doing this, because this is a really bad idea.
Right. I get that. So
Well-
if you want to convince them to not do it, I guess that's a provocation. If you want to throw some dice at it.
What?
Like when
Roll to provoke.
when you were in the sanctuary and they were like, let's go see Mark, and your response was, that is a shitty idea and you're stupid people for thinking it. at that point there's a provocation going on where what you want them to do is to not go. Right?
I want to know
Am I-
why they want to go.
Yeah, and they've told you that, right? They've said why they want to go.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they
They
have.
just said,
They-
no, we're gonna sneak in.
Actually,
No,
I
they-
don't think we haven't.
They literally said
We haven't
we're going
told her
to
why.
we're
We've
going.
told her how.
No, you said what you were doing.
Oh,
Like you said, we're going there to check up on
In
him and see
any
if he's
case, I
okay.
would
yeah.
like to answer Starlight.
Sweet, do that.
Well, Starlight, Mark tried to commit suicide earlier today, and I have no doubt it's because of what happened. We haven't, I mean, I at least haven't even visited him since then. So I'm going to check on him.
And you think tonight is the best idea to do that?
Well, before you can try again, yeah.
I'm pretty sure his mother is glued to his side right now.
Well, you don't have to come if you don't want to.
It just seems like stirring the hornet's nest, really. Yes, we should visit him and find out what the hell is going on, but tonight, after all this, I highly doubt that it's a good idea.
It's quite late. His mom has to go to school. I can be a fly on the wall until then.
His mother is going to have to be a fly on the wall.
No, you had a momentary falling out there, Rasmus. I think what Rasmus was saying is his mother has to go to bed sooner or later, and she can be a fly on the wall until then.
Yeah, you can. I
That's
can't.
exactly what I'm saying. No,
Alright.
no, but I could potentially signal you. You are spotting a whole lot of problems and looking at solutions right now.
She is hopeless, but you don't know that. Her entire exterior is emitting defeat and let's see. Anger and guilt. She sees what you're doing, but she can't see how to do this, and she's angry about that.
Look, I've had enough of people arguing all day, so I'm not going to argue this with you. Come if you want, or don't. I'm going.
So at this point, we are moving into the question of, are you trying to provoke your teammates to not going? Or are you just being like, this is a bad idea and I'm not going?
Give me a second. This is not what I'm looking for. This is not the moves I am looking for.
These aren't the moves you're looking for.
These aren't the moves we're looking for.
You can go about your business.
You can go about your business.
Roll some dice.
Roll some dice.
Where are we standing right now?
Probably outside of the sanctuary.
Alright.
Yeah, probably just faded out.
Okay. Well then. Remind me what the last thing she said were.
She said, I am tired of people arguing, so I'm not going to argue with you. If you want to come, then come. If not, then don't. I'm going.
And Nightshade is looking like he's going with her.
Oh yeah, he's going.
Alright. Then she just, about to open her mouth, looks at you, then at Nightshade, then from Nightshade to you, and then just sighs deeply. You know what? Fine. Go on.
Sweet.
There is no longer any room in your life for anyone else anyway. And then she turns around and leaves.
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's so good. So, what are you doing here? Are you leveraging your influence over Nightshade to like try and make him feel bad?
No, she's just hurting her because she doesn't want to be angry anymore.
Oh, very nice. So in that case, that is definitely.
In this case, both of them. So that's actually a good whammy, extra whammy there.
Yeah. So you are absolutely in that case invoking your influence. I feel like if you want to hurt them in what you're doing here.
Yes, pull the vigil.
Sure.
Make them feel guilty and insecure.
And they won't get to retort because she flares up and then she uses move and she goes anywhere she's been before.
All right. Well, let's see if that's what's up. So when you have influence over someone, you take +1 on this move. When you take influence over someone, surrender the influence you hold over them and choose one. Inflict a condition. I'm guessing that's what you want to do here. You want to hurt them.
I am clearing my own condition.
Yes. You want to hurt someone to clear your angry, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you tell me what you're doing here. Are you wanting to use your influence over Starlight and Nightshade to try and make them feel shitty? or do you want to provoke them into feeling shitty, and then amscray? Like you have basically like two methods of approach here. You can be like, yeah, I'm gonna be like super shittingly hurtful, or you could be like, I'm gonna use my influence and do the same thing.
What is the difference?
The difference is whether you get
Because
plus
it
one or
sounds
not.
exactly the same to me.
Yeah, it's two ways of accomplishing.
Two ways of
something.
doing the same thing.
If you use influence, you get +1, but you lose.
I already have +1 because I have influence.
If you use your influence, you can inflict a condition on them. If you provoke, then you basically like. Yeah, that's actually a good point here. So I guess. Oh, this is where I can feel like my weakness showing as a not yet fully comfortable GM in this system, like with all the little details of it. Let's see. I'm taking input
Well,
here.
the condition, it doesn't really say I have to roll anything.
No.
She just has to hurt them and leave, and that's about it.
You just have to be like a hurtful shit. So I guess instead of talking all this rolling stuff, I guess what I want to ask is then, do you guys feel hurt from Starlight's final rejection here? Like, is this hurtful?
I think first and foremost, to Sparrow, it's confusing.
I think it's hurtful to Nightshade.
All right.
Nightshade knows he said, no, I kind of have something I need to do today, and then he's hung out with Sparrow all the time. Because he is normally the one she'd hang out with.
Sweet. Okay, in that case, I think for now, just clear your angry. You have hurt Nightshade. You Thalmid, you bring that forward. Oh, sorry, Nightshade, you bring that forward whenever you feel like it. So, yeah, your pal up and leaves, and then the two of you are left to pursue your agenda of going to see Mark. So we cut forward to you arriving at his designated place of residence, and then what?
I'm gonna look for like the fire escape ladder and stairs.
Yeah, there was definitely like fire escapes and so on.
I figured that would probably be the easiest way to sneak up to his room. Seeing as we've probably done it before.
All right, so you're just gonna like sneak up there?
Yep.
All right, no problem. So we basically like have a stretched panel, like a vertically long panel of you guys like moving up the side of a building. And then you arrive at the correct level.
I mean, you can totally have the panel. I see no reason why Sparrow would not be flying.
No. I mean, so that's the same, right? Like, it would be a panel of Nightshade crawling and like you just levitating, or lifting Nightshade.
I'm really sorry to have to do this, but I seem to recall that last time when Vigil wanted to get in, he was looking at a normal house, not a flat anywhere, and that he looked through literally the living room window and saw Mark sitting there.
No, I get what you're saying. So what was the case? And I don't remember. I do remember this. Is that he was scaling the building to then arrive at the at a balcony where he could look through like a panoramic wall and
Sure,
see
no
this.
problem.
Yeah.
But thank you for like that. No, don't ever apologize for that. Drawing attention to like what am I saying? Continuity is totally a thing I want you to do if you feel like that's being upset, because I'm not perfect and I can't remember everything I'm doing in this game. So if I ever do something where you're like, hey, wait a minute, bring it up.
All right.
All right. So
Okay,
you arrive upon the balcony of this place. The lights are off inside because it's 3 a.m.
Yeah. So there's a big window, right?
Yeah, it's basically like, imagine like this, like a softly sloped entire panoramic wall. That is like only a few places does it actually stop being complete glass, and that is when like a wall intersects with it to like divide rooms.
Fair enough. I think Sparrow looks to Nightshade and says, "Well, I'm guessing you're gassing your way in. I'll be right in when I find an entrance." And then she turns into a small flying bug of some sort.
Nice alliteration there.
Awesome alliteration as always.
Ha 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 ha. Very funny.
Thank you.
Ha 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 ha.
All right, so we see you emerge into the building in your various using your various methods of doing this, and you find yourself in this black room. Like there's no lights on. There's only the starlight of the outside, and not the starlight. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Good, thank you. Yeah, you know for a fact that you're in Mark's room, right? Because you know where his room is, I assume.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think we see a small white dot in the darkness that then turns into a sparrow. And she holds up her hand, and a small bird flies out of it, namely Lightwing. And it has a soft glow that is enough to illuminate the room, but not, super bright.
Wake everybody up.
Exactly.
All right. So in this case, as you do this, we see like the soft glow illuminate the room, and it's a room as you would imagine. It looks a bit more barren than Mark's room used to. There's some new equipment in here, like for example, there's a lift next to his bed, and just seems to be asleep.
Well,
He looks kind of shitty, but he seems to be asleep.
Sparrow looks to Nightshade and says, I have an idea, but I might need you to keep watch while I focus.
Yeah, Nightshade just nods his head to Sparrow, kind of creeps his way over to Mark's door. I guess, is it open or is it closed or?
Oh no, you're in his room.
It could be that his mom left the door open so she could hear if he...
Oh, in
called
that
for
way.
her or whatever.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the door is open. It's a job.
Okay. Yeah, I just creep my way over to the door and just kind of peer out to play lookout as Sparrow does what she's going to do.
There is a dark hallway.
Yes. Well, Sparrow kind of kneels, whatever is appropriate for the height, next to Mark as he sleeps on the bed, and puts her hand to his temple.
Yeah.
And then she closes her eyes, and Lightwing lands on her shoulders. Only one shoulder, to help her focus. And basically, she is looking for his psyche, and she then intends to project that outwards into a physical, in quotation marks, body, so that they might be able to speak directly to his psyche.
All right, that sounds really cool. Have you ever done this before?
No.
All right, roll to unleash your powers.
Yes, and Lightwing is, of course, providing me with calm focus, so that I get a +1
All right, I'll
for
take it.
that. And unleash my powers, that is what?
Freak.
+3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess yeah, actually that is what this is. Okay, yeah, do the thing I said.
Let's see if it rolled it correctly.
Oh, man. I'm going to spend a team in order to bump that up to a full hit.
Oh, very good.
And I do that, and I look over as Sparrow has her hand on his temple and starts focusing. and I just kind of quietly whisper, "Is like, you've got this. We need to help him."
Right, you're being moral support.
Yeah.
Right, so where first you feel a bit shaky, you receive some moral support from Nightshade that helps you focus, and you draw forth with complete success an apparition of Mark's psyche.
Yes, and unlike the sleeping form, this one is standing on its own two legs.
All right, so tell me then, is this an idealized version of the Mark you know and love, who then will like answer your questions, or is this like an actual representation of what he feels like mentally?
Actually, that's a good point. I think I will relinquish control of how it looks to you, because yes, it is a representation of his psyche as it is right now.
All right. In that case,
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
more like the Mark you draw forth looks like a mummy.
Ew.
He looks like it's this. He's dressed in. He's dressed like. Not like
his superhero outfit.
He's not dressed in his superhero. He's dressed in his school uniform. He's dressed like a normal high schooler, but he's like small and frail and sickly.
And I think, to begin with, while she is stabilizing this, Sparrow is unable to speak, so I will pass that to Nightshade.
All right. So let's what I want to do here is as we see this thing appear, this apparition, we see him appear as I mentioned, right, as this like translucent thing that basically like looks like Mark if he was like fucking 30 years older and like starved and feeling horrible, and there's a lot of lines on this apparition, and as it like appears, you throw the proverbial hot potato to Nightshade, and before you speak, Nightshade, I think we take a break and we'll come back and see what's up in La La Land after this.
That's
Awesome.
a movie.
All right, so let's have a break and we'll be right back.